Hello, everyone. As you join,
Hello.
we will just wait a minute or two before we get into it.
Yes, the amount of people joining in their morning, their afternoon, their evening, all around the globe.
Yeah, absolutely.
While we're waiting for people to join, let's give the audience some small talk, shall we?
Yes, a good point. I will jump in there. So, if you do hear a slight echo of our audio at all, which hopefully won't be the case,
No.
but if it is, that actually would be down to Maddie and I living under the same roof here in London.
How did I know you would start off with that? Yeah, no, Georgia and I do live together actually. We work for a remote first business, so it is quite a unique setup, some would say. But look at the opportunities it's brought us, getting to work together.
I know, I'll classify myself. So before we get lost in too much detail or too much small talk,
Yeah, let's get
shall we kick
started.
off? Cool.
Let's kick off. So, welcome everyone to our masterclass on scaling success through goal setting. We'll kick off with some introductions just so you can get to know your hosts. Even though I feel like we gave too much of an introduction. I'm Maddie, and I sit in the learning and development team at Employment Hero. And I'm really excited to be here with Georgia today, talking this topic through, particularly from my perspective in setting employees up for success.
Yes. Hello, my name is Georgia, and I sit within the customer success team at Employment Hero. I have the pleasure of supporting our clients in implementing goal setting and management practices, so utilizing various tools to enhance their success. I'm very much delighted to be here today to share insights and strategies for optimizing these processes.
Oh, great. So, on to today's agenda. We'll be walking through four main areas of goal setting, and then we'll finish up by wrapping up all of your learnings.
Yeah, so first up,
Your
we'll
thoughts?
walk through, first up, we'll walk through choosing a goal setting framework and specifically exploring the OKR framework. We'll learn how defining clear objectives and key results can align our teams towards a common vision, driving collective success. We'll also navigate setting OKRs across all levels of an organization. So that being specifically company, team, and then individual. And then finally, we'll share strategies for helping your employees achieve their goals, really ensuring that every action we take propels us closer to achieving our goals. So during the masterclass, just one thing to make note of, we absolutely encourage you to please submit any questions that come to mind. And our team will review your questions during the session and get back to you. And if there's any that we don't capture during the session, we'll get back to you following that with an email.
Yes, we love the questions. All right, to kick us off today and why we're all here, we all want success and we all want to be on the path to succeed. So much like Robert Collier famously once said, success is the sum of small efforts repeated, day in and day out. Setting an incredibly ambitious goal and breaking that down into digestible bites are a great way to maintain motivation when working away at a long-term goal. Reaching smaller personal or team milestones, they can provide us with that energizing dopamine hit and they'll keep us motivated. It's important to note that success isn't just about the destination, it's all about the journey and the small steps and collective victories that'll keep us pushing forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So now I guess something to keep in mind is that, yes, we all set goals to scale success, although scaling doesn't just necessarily mean growing. So it's really about reaching new heights without limits. So as we embark on this journey, we absolutely are met with both excitement and, on the flip side of that, challenges. But with the right strategies, we can become stronger than ever and overcome these. So first up, it's really crucial to develop a concrete plan. So we need a roadmap that guides our growth trajectory and ensures we're heading in the right direction. Next, alignment is really, really key. So from top leadership to every member across an organization, we really must align our vision, values, and efforts towards our common goals. So I'd really ask you to reflect on that for you and your organization. Lastly, setting tangible quantitative goals with a defined time frame keeps us focused and accountable. So these goals, serve as milestones on our journey, marking our progress and driving us towards success. And by implementing these strategies, we're not just scaling, we're actually building a foundation that's unshakable, so ready to conquer any challenge that comes our way.
Love it. Very well said. Now, selecting the right goal setting framework is akin to choosing the right tool to a specific job. It's crucial for success as these frameworks can provide various forms of support for our objectives. So we'll delve into a few considerations when you're navigating that decision. So firstly, assess your organizational culture and structure. So are you a startup with a need for agility and flexibility? Or are you a well-established company that's requiring stability and more long-term planning? So understanding where you fall into here, that'll really help you narrow down the options.
Yeah.
Next, you'd want to consider the complexity of your goals. So are they straightforward and easily quantifiable, or do they involve multiple stakeholders and multiple variables? The framework you choose should be robust enough to handle the intricacies of whatever your objectives may be. You'd also want to think about your team dynamics and your communication styles and channels. So will your chosen framework foster collaboration and transparency, or will it start creating silos and confusion? So having a seamless integration with your team's workflow here is also key to success. The last thing you should be evaluating is the scalability and adaptability of the framework. So can it grow with your organization and evolve to meet changing needs and priorities? So by carefully weighing up these factors, you can really confidently select a goal-setting framework that'll align with your team's vision, your team values, objectives, and setting the stage for success and growth early on.
Yeah, so before we jump into goal-setting frameworks, let's simplify this because staring at your ultimate goal can be daunting. I guess, especially to approach as a whole. But a goal-setting framework, as we've mentioned, will really break this down and act as your trusty guide to the final destination. So firstly, it really provides clarity on where to start out. Just like a map, it's pointing you in the right direction. A framework outlines the initial steps, eliminating any confusion and hesitation. Secondly, it helps navigate this maze of choices. With clear milestones and action plans, you'll know exactly which path to take, so you're not going to get lost. And to add, a framework will boost your productivity. By breaking down the goal into manageable tasks and timelines, you and your team can focus on making tangible progress every step of the way. But perhaps most importantly, it's the fire of the motivation and the importance of keeping that burning bright. So celebrating small victories along the journey. The framework serves as a constant reminder of how far you've come and how much closer you are to your goal.
Well said, George. I guess there are a whole host of different frameworks to use out there. It can get quite overwhelming, but just to name a few here. So we have objectives and key results, or also known as OKRs. We have our SMART goals. We've got the Rockefeller habits. We've got key performance indicators, or KPIs, and the goal pyramid. So one of the most popular frameworks is objectives and key results, OKRs. This approach emphasizes setting ambitious objectives and then defining key results that measure progress towards those objectives. It's a really powerful tool for aligning teams and driving that focus towards the common goal. Today, we'll be exploring OKRs in much greater detail.
Yeah, so as Mads has mentioned, there are many components to consider when choosing your goal-setting framework. We've broken this down into 8 key considerations here for you. So first up, your team's needs. Is it realistic and compatible with your team's existing work processes and needs? Flexibility. So does it adjust easily to the way or ways that your team work? Company culture. Does the framework resonate with your company's core values? Collaboration. So does it enhance the collective effort to achieve team and company goals? Scalability. Does the framework adapt as your company grows? Engagement. Is it allowing for easy engagement and participation from your employees, which is super important? Training and support. Is it, does it give your employees the right support to help achieve the goals? And finally, feedback. Does it facilitate continuous feedback and goal adjustment? So on that, let's dive deep into the OKR framework.
Cool, I'll take it away. I think we should start with the basics here. So what exactly are OKRs? OKRs, they provide clarity, focus, and alignment across teams and an entire organization, really. And they're instrumental in driving performance, fostering that accountability, and promoting a culture of transparency and collaboration. Here's a really simple way to put it. So let's imagine you're planning an adventure. First things first, you need a destination in mind. So that would be your acting objective. It's where you want to go, or what we're calling here the ultimate goal. But how do you ensure that you're actually on the right track and making progress towards that destination? That's where our key results come into play. So they're going to act like your trusty GPS for this example, helping you track and measure every step of your journey and make sure that you're headed in the right direction. So before we dive into that, let's chat through maybe some of the most common challenges that we might face when we're actually trying to achieve our OKRs. Over to you, George.
Yeah, so while OKRs are incredibly powerful, and we've touched on that a number of times already, they're not without their challenges. We've mapped common challenges here from each perspective of a business. So firstly, from the employee perspective, there can be a lack of clarity sometimes, and it's not always easy for everyone to understand how their individual goals tie into the bigger picture of organizational success. So this ambiguity can lead to feelings of disconnect or disengagement and not understanding why priorities keep changing.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people can attest to that one as well from the individual perspective, that is.
Yeah, definitely. So secondly, managers often face the challenge of aligning team OKRs with broader organizational objectives. So striking that right balance and ensuring that everyone is pulling in the same direction can be easier said than done sometimes, especially in larger organizations with multiple teams and departments. Now, from a leadership perspective, they may ask or question task relevance, measurement methods, approval processes, and resource justifications when implementing OKRs. So that's something to be mindful of. And finally, from an organizational standpoint, challenges can include ensuring employees are stretching to excel, optimizing resources for maximum impact, and fostering a culture of continuous improvement.
Yeah, I feel like these have been really well captured from all the perspectives. And it's so important to call out, right? Because they seem so hard to overcome. But obviously that's what we're here to help with the right kind of strategies and support, and that shared commitment to success. You can really unlock the full potential of OKRs within your teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get into it.
Great, back to me. So now that we understand what OKRs are, how do we actually set them? I guess before I get into this, though, something really valuable to call out here is that every team is incredibly different. So it's really important to have a flexible framework that will suit yours, as mentioned. But for our session today, we'll be using the OKR framework, if you hadn't already discovered that. First, we need to identify high-level objectives that reflect your organization's strategic priorities. So these objectives should be bold and ambitious, yet still achievable, providing that clear direction and purpose. We also don't want to be placing a limit or a roof, if you will, on an objective, as that can typically reduce creativity and put a cap on what we're actually reaching for or what we're able to achieve. So let's say a team achieves 100% of their target. They're either doing exceptionally well, or the objective that they've set might not have been challenging enough. So the best OKR objectives are the ones that are within your grasp, but they're not meant to be easily achieved.
Yeah, you're right. So in the world of goal setting, just to really double down on that, we still want to aim big, but just be conscious of the goal not being completely out of reach.
Exactly.
So next, we define measurable key results that indicate progress towards each objective. We recommend establishing 3 to 5 key results for each goal to measure it by. This is really key to remember. They should include specific, measurable, and focused targets that are directly linked to the corresponding objective. So the type of key result you set will depend on the objective, and there is more to come on this. Just to quickly touch on this, here are some visionary organizations that have successfully implemented the OKR framework, but we will delve into some more specific examples shortly.
I love that we've made the cut. Good. I'd actually love to jump in here and just share an example using SpaceX, just to really illustrate how OKRs can be aligned with an organization's mission really well. So in case you're not familiar with SpaceX, they're an aerospace manufacturer company. They're founded by the one and only Elon Musk, and they're known for advancements in reusable rocket technology, and they have a mission to enable humans to live beyond planet Earth. So just off that, they really push unfamiliar boundaries, and their ambitious mission statements actually reads, their mission statement reads, making life multi-planetary, which is obviously no easy feat.
Not at
They've
all.
then adopted OKRs to accelerate progress towards that goal. So they've set an objective tied to their mission, and that is to accelerate the development and deployment of reusable rocket technology. I can't even get it out, it's so complex. So from here, they've actually broken this down into 5 key results from the corresponding objective that I just mentioned. For insight, one of those key results is increase successful booster landings. So their use of OKRs, it's incredibly inspiring because it demonstrates the transformation of a big, ambitious vision or goal into more practical and measurable outcomes. So by setting objectives like that, they're not only aiming for a hefty goal, but they're able to deconstruct them into more attainable milestones.
Yeah, they are seriously leading by example. A perfect example, actually, of taking a really bold goal and breaking it down to make it seem quite achievable.
Yeah.
So now into cascading OKRs throughout the company. So to do this effectively, it's absolutely essential to establish interconnected goals at all levels of the company. So to reiterate, that is company-wide, team-specific, and then individually or at the employee level. So this creates alignment and ensures everyone understands their role in achieving overarching objectives. At the top level, we start with company-wide OKRs, which are broad strategic objectives that define what the organization as a whole is aiming to achieve. They then need to be translated into actionable steps for teams and individuals to contribute to. So as these objectives slow down here, they're broken into smaller, more specific key results that can be assigned to managers and then eventually individual employees. So I guess to reflect on this, by cascading goals in this way, you're aligning the efforts of different teams and individuals, towards the same overarching objectives. One thing to note as well is that transparency and communication play a crucial role in this process, and sharing OKRs across teams fosters collaboration and alignment, driving collective success, which is what we all want.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, here at Employment Hero, I feel like we're incredibly successful at harnessing internal communication, and let's say knowledge sharing tools like Slack or your Confluence, to really foster that transparency and provide access to resources as we need them. Even bolstering our own HR platform, it has really allowed us to adopt an async approach, given that we also are remote first. So we can actually acknowledge those diverse working styles, and we're not constrained to time or those location boundaries when we're trying to receive updates on how we're performing or how we're tracking against any OKR or goal for that matter.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the day-to-day initiatives and tasks, we encourage you to use what works best for you and your team. Obviously, as I mentioned, we harness the use of our own platform, Employment Hero, but please adopt your own tools when documenting OKRs. And Georgia, just on that, I guess from a customer success perspective, I'd love to hear your thoughts on best practices when doing so. So when you're harnessing your own platform to break down and document OKRs.
Yeah, so let's actually think about an example and put this into practice, considering how goals will cascade from company to team to individual goals. So as an overarching theme, I have chosen this example today to focus on cultivating a culture of growth and collaboration. Now, this could be any goal, but use this one today and try and imagine your organization introducing a structured goal setting framework like this, or perhaps improving your existing approach to goal setting. So again, I'm going to use the Employment Hero Goals functionality to demonstrate how I would set this up. But of course, this structure can be replicated outside of the Employment Hero platform. But do remember that cascading goals and visual charts can easily show how all goals relate back to company-wide goals, or OKRs, which sets your team up for success, knowing exactly what everyone in your team is working towards.
Yeah. And look, exactly. These are the things to keep in mind when you are adopting your own technique. But for this example, what would that actually look like if you were to break it down into each category further for us?
Yeah. So the example I've set up here, again, is focused on cultivating a culture of growth and collaboration. The goal setting mirrors the structure that Maddie and I have discussed so far, cascading from company to team to individual goals. The overarching company goal here that I've set is to enhance employee engagement and retention through professional development opportunities. So this is set as the objective and is shaded in gray here. And then under the goal, I have set 3 key results that are designed to contribute towards achieving this goal. And most importantly, helps to measure the success. So moving on to team goals, the structure of the goal is essentially repeated for team and individual goals. So the only changes are the contents of the goals and the key results. So think about team goals being segregated by department or by function, whatever works within your organization. So here we have the team goal set to strengthen team cohesion and collaboration through cross-functional project initiatives. So again, the key results are the foundation to achieving the goal and can be seen under this. And an example here of a team key result is to increase the number of cross-functional projects completed successfully by the team by 25%. So it's really essential to align team with company goals for several reasons. I guess the most important ones being that it increases focus and direction, for efficiency and effectiveness, to offer or to harness motivation and engagement, coordination and collaboration, and then finally measurement and evaluation, which is super important.
Yeah, great points. And look, I think it's just really important to kind of echo what you've mentioned, and overall call out that you need to align team goals with your company goals, just to ensure that everyone is working towards that same shared vision and no one's going to lose that momentum.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Now into individual goals. So this will be the final example here, showcasing the 3rd tier of goal setting, individual goals. So I'd just really like to reiterate the importance of a clear structure of each objective that we've walked through today, and its corresponding key results within the context of company, team, and individual goals. So here the individual goal is set to improve management skills and contribute effectively to cross-functional projects. Now, to achieve this goal, a key result that has been set is to attend 4 project management training sessions or workshops to enhance skills and knowledge. It's just super important to stress the criticality of the flow of company into team, into individual goals, which I've said many times now, so hopefully it's sticking.
Don't forget.
And the relationship between team and individual goals, I guess separately to really drill down on this, is that it's incredibly crucial for many reasons. Those being alignment, synergy, motivation, accountability, and finally, efficiency.
Yeah, you've
So
got them all.
to recap with a visual, these goals here really nicely cascade. They are interrelated and support the overall theme of cultivating a culture of growth and collaboration. Now, just to drill down again, that focus and alignment is critical to the success of goal setting, which we will explore shortly.
Yes, I will take that away in no time. But thanks, Georgia. That was a really great example. Now on to strategies that'll help your employees actually achieve goals. So we'll start with focus and alignment, as Georgia just mentioned. So 2 items we need to be very conscious of, as they're absolutely critical aspects of OKR setting. We've got focus that ensures that objectives are clear, specific, and meaningful, guiding teams towards high impact activities. And then we have our alignment. That ensures that OKRs are directly linked to the organization's mission, vision, strategic priorities, whatever that might look like, maximizing their impact and their relevance. So to define focus objectives, we need to prioritize initiatives that address critical business needs and opportunities. So as Georgia mentioned earlier, the 3 to 5 rule suggests limiting the number of objectives to, believe it or not, 3 to 5, allowing teams to concentrate their efforts effectively. Now, if you're wanting to set above this, you just have to keep in mind that that will then mean less focus on each one. So 3 objectives with 3 key results, each means that you'll have 9 key results in total to follow. Then 5 objectives with 5 key results, that's then 25 smaller goals, and that's not realistically doable in a quarter, unless you're Elon Musk, maybe. So of course, it depends on what the objective is, but I'd just like to stress that they should be aspirational yet achievable within that designated time frame that you've set yourself or the team. So the Journal for Experimental Psychology found that if you make your goal too easy, then you'll risk boredom. Make it too hard, and you might find yourself overwhelmed and frustrated. So you want to find the balance in the middle. And the key to that is to set a goal that's challenging, yet still within reach. An American neuroscientist, Andrew Huberman, he shares a golden rule, and that is to aim for a goal of 85% achievable. So when learning something new, hitting the mark around 85% of the time, that's the sweet spot. So that leaves about 15% for trial and error, and that's a space where mistakes are allowed, or what we call your wiggle room.
Yeah, love that. So I guess moving on, a focused approach to goal setting is very much key. So part 2 of setting OKRs is the alignment piece. Now, aligning individual and team OKRs with broader organizational objectives requires clear communication and collaboration across functions. And that's no surprise, or it shouldn't be. Now, by articulating how each OKR contributes to shared goals and initiatives, we foster alignment and synergy among teams. So providing guidance and support helps teams align their OKRs with the strategic direction of your organization.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of tracking progress and maintaining alignment, a few things to keep in mind. So regular check-ins and progress reviews are essential. Super, super key and something that cannot be missed. Visual dashboards or OKR tracking tools can also help monitor progress and identify any areas for improvement. And by fostering a culture of accountability and transparency, we can celebrate successes and address challenges openly, which in turn drives continuous improvement.
Awesome. Now let's introduce habit stacking. And this is only something that I've just recently learned myself. But one of the most effective ways to do this is by piggybacking habits. So onto habits that have already been ingrained into our daily routines. So when we stack a new habit on top of an established one, we're able to tap into the existing neural pathways, making it much easier for us employees to adopt the desired behavior. So now by building small goals into existing habits, it's a key strategy for driving progress towards those larger objectives. So by breaking down large goals into those more manageable tasks and then embedding them within existing routines, we're really creating a pathway for steady progress and that success over time. So by adopting this strategy of leveraging existing habits and then integrating them into more smaller goals, into routine behaviors, we then significantly enhance the likelihood of habit adoption, and we're able to achieve larger goals.
Yeah, it's a great tool to implement both professionally and personally.
Yeah.
Something to take away. So next, I want to touch on creating a motivational environment, which comes from rewarding your employees and giving them a release of dopamine. So not to get too technical, but dopamine is a neurotransmitter, which increases when we're anticipating rewards and boosts our motivation. So it serves as positive reinforcement and is released when tasks are completed or challenges are overcome. So this can be crucial in keeping everyone motivated, aligned, and ambitious.
Love it. Hopefully we didn't lose anyone there with that big fact.
So next, to create, I guess, a dopamine-rich environment, we have a few recommendations. So first up, creating mini deadlines for your key results, celebrating small achievements, providing positive feedback, sharing results with your team, and do this regularly, actually. And then finally, celebrating success.
Yeah, I'd love to give some examples here as well. So at Employment Hero, we're able to give in-platform shout outs all day, every day when we witness that incredible work, or even smaller achievements, just calling it out. We also have a very rich culture of recognition. So let's say someone exceeds expectations or someone's seen to embody one of our company values. We actually recognize them for it, which also comes with a monetary value of what we call internally hero points. Another example to share here, it's a bit of a trend that has blown up on TikTok that Georgia would probably know all about. It involves creators who have chosen to buy themselves something fizzy, let's say a couple bottles of champagne for this example, if you're of age, of course, and they tag the bottles with each of their goals. So each time they achieve said goal, they then pop your bottle of champagne and they're able to celebrate. So it's something really simple, but it's going to be effective. And it's just a way to create excitement and reward around that goal setting.
Yeah, I love that. And yes, I do love my learning through TikTok. Leave me be. So I appreciate we've gone through so much content today. So let's do a little bit of a recap of the main points that we've covered. So first off, we've explored the benefits of goal setting, where they enhance performance, productivity, accountability, and employee engagement, if done right, that is. And we've delved into how to implement a framework successfully and how it adds a structured approach, a tangible path to success, and an efficient resource allocation.
Cool. And then additionally, we've gone in depth into our OKR framework. So objectives being the high level, ambitious, and unmeasurable. And they answer the question, where do I want to go? And then key results being the quantitative metrics and milestones that will lay out the path on how we'll end up getting there. So just to recap in terms of keeping your employees engaged as well, here you'd want to consider tracking their progress, adopting the habit stacking strategy, and then reward and celebrate achievements often. Yeah, no matter how big or how small they might be.
Fabulous. So as we wrap up our masterclass, I would just like to say on behalf of Maddie and I, thank you so much for joining.
We hope that you have found some insights that we've shared today or taking away something super valuable. Hopefully a few things have resonated.
Yeah, just to remember, setting goals is not just about ambition. It's about creating a roadmap for success and growth.
Yeah, love it. What a note to leave it on.
Yeah, so just one final reminder actually before we do wrap up or end the call this afternoon, that any questions submitted through the chat function will be answered by our team following this call, and a recording of our masterclass will also be shared with you.
Yeah, send those questions through.
Yeah, we really hope you enjoy the remainder of your day from wherever you are joining across the globe.
Take care, everyone.